Today we're going to do the fish soup recipe. This is a fantastic fish. So you want to make an incision all the way along here and then back down the other side there. So you can just, you can see, once you're through, slice that the way, and there you are. You can do that or you can get a pair of scissors, same, just chop that up. All of the bones are going to go into your pan. And your fish head. There you are. So we're going to get some water in here, a bit of wine. We're going to start with a bit of white wine. It just seems a bit like sacrilege. We generally, you can put as much as you like, but I usually put about 200 ml of wine. You want to fill the water up so it covers the fish bones. And there you are. You want to bring it to the boil, skim the top so any scum comes off the top, and then just bring it right down so it simmers only very gently, the odd bubble. That's really important because if you cook it too fast and too fierce, you'll break the fish up and make it cloudy. Won't make it very appealing. For 20 minutes max, so about 20 minutes of fish stock you want to do it for. Okay, so we're just going to put those fillets back over now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down this side, these pin bones here. Now we can dice this up for the soup. So it's nice chunks. We'll save that for the soup later. And when we make the soup, we're going to drop the fish in last. It's literally going to take like 4-5 minutes max. Even in the heat of the soup, it will even cook itself. Hi, welcome back. Now we've done the stock and it's been ready. It's been 20 minutes now, simmering away nicely, ready to be passed. We can make the fish soup. So to make the fish soup, you're going to need 1 pak choy. This is Chinese cabbage. I'm going to use a few spring onions, so a couple of spring onions, 1 carrot. I'm going to use a bit more of the white wine. That's going to go in again. Cherry tomatoes. This works really well in a fish soup. Ginger. A little bit of sesame oil. That's just to sweat the veg off rather. Tiny bit of soy sauce. And then the fish, from earlier. That's our diced fish we've put in the fridge. Most important ingredient, chili sauce. And that's going to go in the end. It's going to give it a really nice spicy flavour. The Million's chili sauce as well. It's full of so many different spices, onions and aromats. It really makes the dish effectively. So you can get a fish soup that's very tasty, but it's got a rather flat flavour. You put a bit of Million's chili in there and it'll make it explode with lots of different flavours, lots of different develop sort of layers of flavour as well. So almost you'll get one flavour and then another and then another and then another. It makes it really exciting. Now we're going to pass that stock from earlier. So it's been simmering away nice and gently for 20 minutes. So all the flavours come out, but it's not gone cloudy. We haven't boiled it too much. We did put a little bit of chili sauce in there, only a tiny bit, to give it a little extra bit of spice. So now we've passed the fish stock, we're going to just put it into a jug and then put that to one side, because we want to sweat down the veg first and then add the stock after. Peel the carrot, peel the ginger with the spoon. Okay, the ginger we're going to slice, and we're going to just leave a nice slice of ginger in there to infuse slowly. The garlic we're going to slice into just nice slices, and that might seem ever so slightly thick. But what we're going to do is cook that in the soup. So it'll be cooking for a good while and it'll actually become sweet and it won't be strong. The carrot we're going to dice. So you cut it into battens and then put that into dice. Chinese cabbage, been washed. Just going to take a bit of the base off. Get a few leaves here. Otherwise it's going to overcook, just leave that there. You get the sesame oil, bit of salt ready. Sesame oil into the pan. can put the carrot in there now. And the garlic. Want to just fry that off, not too hot. A little bit of salt in there. Get the spring onions. Again, we're going to use the white of the onion. That's for the garnish. Drop the ginger in there now. It's sweating down. I'm going to cut these cherry tomatoes now. Just slice them in half. Okay, now that's sweated down, we're going to add the tomatoes. The reason I do this is because it just sort of will now sweat those tomatoes down. It will really get sweet and it will have that lovely sort of tomato fondue flavour. And then we're going to add the stock, and then we're going to add the veg and the fish, and it's going to give it a really lovely flavour, make it really quite wholesome. Tomatoey, a little bit, it won't taste too tomatoey, but it'll have that bit of sweetness. Tiny bit more salt. Add a little bit of chilli sauce in a minute too. So we're going to do a tiny bit of Million's chilli sauce. Stir that. We turn the heat up ever so slightly, just so we get a good saute on those tomatoes. Now it's really important, we don't want to have it too hot so it scorches any of the tomatoes, garlic or carrot. It's just no good at all. You want to really sweat that down to get lovely flavour out. We only turn the heat up a little bit to get, because there's so much moisture in the tomato. But you do want to sweat it, we don't want to boil it yet. Okay, now the tomatoes, they're starting to break down ever so slightly. So you can tell that because the skin splits and it starts to look a little bit matte. And at this point you can put the wine in. So you get the wine from before, and it's 100 ml of white wine. You can bring that up to a higher temperature just to bring it to the boil. We're going to reduce that right down so it's almost a glass, so that means that there's no wine left. It's very shiny. There is obviously a little bit there, so it's not burnt, but it's really till it's almost syrupy. And then we can add our fish stock, and then we can finish our soup. Okay, so while that's coming down, we can prepare the rest of the veg for the soup ready. So we're going to get the cabbage. I'm going to cut these into nice triangles. This is going to go at the end of the soup, so we're going to slightly thin this. We don't want to cook this. It's literally going at the end when we serve it on top, and that'll be it. We get the pak choy. We take the larger leaves off, like so. You can slice that little bit of root off as well. So the larger leaves you'll cut into either 3 or 2 lengthways. This cooks really quickly. You want to have that crunch, so it goes in at the end again. You don't want to overcook that, it's nothing worse. You don't want a mushy pak choy. When you get to the heart, you can just slice that in half, and that's it. Now we've got our chives. We're going to slicely, keep on saying slicely, thinly slice these, and that's the same. We're not going to cook that, we're going to put it to one side, and that's ready to go in at the end. This is just the garnish. And then I quite like, as we're doing rustic home food, we don't want to waste anything. You can just go and do sort of a rustic-y, larger chive, and that goes in at the end. Got our fish ready. That's the fish from earlier. These are some fine French beans. Quite like to just slice these about there. It just means you have a bit more veg in that soup. It makes it tasty. Makes it very healthy too. Okay, this is almost ready now. Now we've got our peas here. Okay, we're ready now. It's almost shiny, you see. It's almost like a glass, but there's still liquid there. So now we can add our fish stock into there. I'm going to bring this to the boil. Once this boils, then we can start to add all of our veg to it. So let's try this part of the soup, see where we are. So it's good. We've got a nice little fishy flavour in there from the stock. The wine gives a little bit of acidity. It's got a bit of a kick from the chilli sauce, not too much. Okay, so now we're ready to finish the soup. So we're going to get the Chinese cabbage first. Drop that in. French beans, green beans. You could give that about a minute, and that's going to cook that through. And if you can see at this stage as well, it's almost got a nice colour to the soup, and that's from the tomato skins. It really gives it a rich sort of lovely feel. So in fact, we're going to go pak choy and the fish. You want to bring it down now. You don't want to boil it too much. Now that the fish is in, you want to gently cook the fish. And also be gentle when you stir the soup now, because we've got the fish in there, and if we're going to be too strong with the stirring, it's going to break the fish up. Just slowly, gently bubbling now. That's just how we want it. It's going to be almost ready. Now we can add the peas. We're going to get our bowl ready. Now that we've waited a minute, the fish isn't quite cooked yet. However, it's come to a simmer, so we can taste it again. But we have the soy sauce. So it's literally a teaspoon. Don't want to go over the top here. Okay, when it comes back up to the simmer now, it's ready. So if you're not quite sure, you can take a little bit of fish out and just gently break it with a fork. So we're ready to serve. So we want to get a good amount of all of the ingredients, all of the lovely garnish in there, the fish and the soup too. Spring onion, finely chopped chive, and a little bit of the more roughly chopped chive. And then if you like it a bit spicy, a little bit of Szechuan oil on top. Sesame seeds. And there you are, ready. So that's the fish soup with the Chinese influenced spicy chili sauce, which gives it that little bit of lift, extra bit of flavour, and you've got the sesame in there too. Really fantastic. If you made it with your own whole fish and you made your own stock, the difference is going to be incredible. Okay, enjoy and thank you very much. Bye bye.